What is up, freak bitches? Well, not since the September 11th terrorist attacks have we seen the United States change so drastically over the course of just a few hours. What's up, freak bitches? Wherever you may be, however you may be listening, thank you for giving me just a few minutes of your time. And boy, shit went bonkers as hell yesterday. Let's get started with what happened first. Forgive me for having a bit of a weird setup on my graphics and all that. I expected to have somebody here with me today, but he wasn't able to make it for whatever reason. So, the first thing that happened was, obviously, as you guys heard, this whole coronavirus thing is now a pandemic. It's moved from epidemic to pandemic. So that is a decision made by the powers that be, at people at the CDC and the WHO. For those of you who don't know what the difference is, I've got a definition here that doesn't really clear things up. The difference between an epidemic and a pandemic. Epidemic is a term that is often broadly used to describe any problem that has grown out of control. Yeah. An epidemic is defined as an outbreak of disease that occurs over a wide geographic area and affects exceptionally high proportion of the population. An epidemic is an event in which a disease is actively spreading. In contrast, the term pandemic relates to geographic spread and is used to describe a disease that affects a whole country or the entire world. I don't understand how this doesn't really go for both definitions of what's been going on. It sounds to me like it's been a pandemic from day one. But, be that as it may, they can define this however the hell they want. What's going on, Idiot Show? What's up, Casey is Raw? So the second thing that happened is the NBA announced that the regular season games starting today are going to be on indefinite hold after Utah player Rudy Gobert tested positive for the virus. Now, they released this in a statement that we're going to go to right now as soon as I remember to put myself on the right mode. Now, according to the statement, the NBA announced that a player on the Utah Jazz has preliminarily tested positive for the COVID-19 virus. The test result was reported shortly prior to tip-off of tonight's game between the Jazz and Oklahoma City Thunder at Chesapeake Arena in wherever the hell they were at. At the time tonight's game was canceled, the affected player was not in the arena. The NBA is suspending gameplay following the conclusion of tonight's schedule of games, this was last night, until further notice. The NBA will use this hiatus to determine the next steps for moving forward in regard to the coronavirus pandemic. Now, whatever the fuck all that shit means. And immediately after that, the NHL released a statement that I'll have to read that one directly. Said the NHL is aware of the NBA's decision tonight to indefinitely suspend its season due to a player testing positive for coronavirus. The NHL is continuing to consult with medical experts and is evaluating the options. We expect to have a further update tomorrow being today. We haven't heard anything official from the NHL or any other leagues today, except for a bunch of college leagues, but we'll go into that here in just 1 second. Because news has been breaking fast and furious today, every bit as fast as it was breaking yesterday. Now, after that, the NCAA announced the men's basketball tournament will be actually the men's and women's basketball tournaments that's come out will be played as scheduled, but with no fans in attendance. They will allow essential game personnel and limited family attendance. Why they're allowing anything, who the hell knows? Why they're even playing at this point, I don't know, especially after the shit that went down with the Utah Jazz. But there's a whole lot of money riding on this kind of stuff, so it's really up to them. Followed then by an address to the nation by President Trump, which he made clear that the federal government is going to do to fight the now pandemic. We'll go over some of those steps here in just a second. Immediately after that, all the talking heads were breaking down the president's comments, and then probably the hardest hitting piece of news for 90% of Americans actually hit the wires, and that is that Tom Hanks and his wife, Rita Wilson, have tested positive for the virus. Hanks and his wife are in Australia right now filming a biopic for Elvis, a biopic movie about Elvis Presley. Hanks is actually playing Colonel Tom Parker, who, anybody who's a Elvis fan knows who that guy is. But he announced it in a tweet, and I will read that real quick. Hello, folks. Rita and I are down here in Australia. We felt a bit tired, like we had colds and some body aches. Rita had some chills, came and went, slight fevers too. To play things right, as is needed in the world right now, we were tested for the coronavirus, and we were found to be positive. Well, now, what to do next? He asked. The medical officials have protocols that must be followed. We Hankses will be tested, observed, and isolated for as long as public health and safety requires. Not much more to it than a day-to-day approach. No. We'll keep the world posted and updated. Take care of yourself, Hanks. So that was when news broke that the papa of all things acting and his wife, Mr. Tom Hanks and his wife, had tested positive for the virus. Now all of a sudden, we're all finally what ended up happening is we're all picking our jaws up off the floor. We're trying to process a pretty crazy 12 hours. Look, it's come fast and furious today already. I'm looking at the Fox News, and I'm pretty sure that they're saying that every state, with the exception of 3 or 4, now has a confirmed coronavirus case. I don't know if that's true or not. So many things have been canceled, and I'll get to some of those right about now since I brought it up. Let's see. I had seen earlier that the ACC, or the AAC, the SEC, and the Big Ten have canceled all their basketball tournaments. The SEC baseball season has been suspended until March 30th. 100 major colleges have canceled classes or moved them to the online format. Hawaii is banning schools from taking trips to the mainland, which makes sense. I'm not sure what kind of situation they have with the virus in Hawaii, so I'll turn my audio up. Okay, sorry. I'm not sure what kind of virus situation they're facing in Hawaii right now, but yeah, that's probably look. It's probably the smarter thing. One of the terms that somebody's been throwing around a lot is what is it called? Mass self isolation, whatever it is, or social isolation. Look, we live in a society where people have to go to work. I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot of people. I don't think there's a whole lot of people around there. Sorry, Casey, I had one of my buttons I had hit on my thing, and now that's too high. But yeah, one of the and I got that going on. I'm just not ready for this live stream at all. I've got that. Hold on, give me a second. Or acting too quickly and not thinking. That'll make it better. Ugh, Jesus Christ. What the hell? I barely even got started. But, where was I? God, I was all over the place already. Let's go. Let's talk about some of the things that Trump was doing after his speech. He's restricting passenger travel from 26 European nations to the United States. That's going to include the following exceptions: any lawful permanent U.S. resident, any alien spouse of a lawful permanent U.S. resident, any alien parent or legal guardian of an unmarried child under the age of 21, or any alien sibling, provided both are unmarried and under the age of 21. To be absolutely honest, I really don't care who comes and goes as long as they get tested and they're not positive for this virus. That's kind of the big thing. I mean, this isn't really an immigration thing, although I'm sure a lot of idiots up on Capitol Hill are going to try to turn this into an immigration thing. Look, if you want to come to the country, fine. Just make sure you're clean. Make sure you don't have this bug. Trump also said the restrictions won't apply to the United Kingdom. There would be exemptions for Americans who have undergone appropriate screenings. He said the U.S. would monitor the situation to determine if travel could be reopened earlier. Now, this is actually all going to start on, I believe, the Friday at midnight. So Saturday morning at midnight, Friday night at midnight. That's when this whole thing is going to start. Honestly, I think they should have been doing this a long time ago. It's one of the things that happened. One of the things actually I think I mentioned it on Derail on Drew Show a while back is that one of the reasons why we didn't immediately just flat out cut off any contact, or sorry, any travel between the U.S. and mainland China was because we were actually in trade negotiations with them at the time. You didn't want to piss them off during trade negotiations. I would have looked right at them and said, hey, trade negotiations can wait, or you can continue to not get our shit. We don't really care. We don't want your sickness being over here, because what's going to hurt Americans more? Getting this virus and a bunch of elderly people dying because they don't have the health to fight this thing off, or paying an extra $3 for whatever we get from China. I don't know. It's up to you guys to decide. He also asked that the House pass an emergency bill containing 12 weeks family medical leave and free testing for the virus, including illegal immigrants, which makes perfect sense. And there is no price tag right now for this bill. This price tag is going to cost $1 billion. It's going to cost a bunch of fucking money. We all know it. Problem is, it's going to be money that's going to need to be Uh, as far as the medical leave and the free testing should be a no-brainer. Uh, a lot of people are out there saying right now that there is not enough tests. Look, you can actually put somebody's blood on under a microscope and look. That process takes a long time. What people want, I think, and I'm not a medical expert, so I'm not sure if this is right or not. But I think what people want is they want the kind of thing where they put some spit or some whatever bodily fluids of some kind into this little thing, shake it up, it turns a certain color, and you say, okay, you test positive. Look, we can examine a lot of blood. It just takes time. As far as the price tag of the money, who the hell knows? I mean, look, it's going to cost a bunch of money. It's money that's going to have to be spent. I hope both sides figure this shit out because there's not really any way that you can get around it. So whatever. Anyway, the bill also includes strengthened food security initiatives for Medicaid and increased federal funds for Medicaid. Yeah, again, it's one of those things we have to do. We have we have to get this thing wrangled in. The money is not going to be the important part. The important part is going to be getting this thing stopped, and that's what we got to do right now. Now, as far as how this has affected all kinds of things, Jesus jumped up Christ. There have been so many things that have happened. I already talked about Hawaii banning school trips to the mainland. All the colleges have canceled classes. On top of that, at least 7 members of Congress are self-quarantining after contact with a carrier. That includes 2 Republicans, Mitt Romney and Ted Cruz, have already quarantined themselves. Another one, Senator Cantwell, the Democrat from Washington, has closed his offices after a staff member tested positive for the virus. The U.S. Capitol has stopped all public tours through at least the end of March. This morning, a second NBA player, Utah Jazz player Donovan Mitchell, tested positive for the virus. So it's the second person in the same NBA locker room that's tested positive for the virus. We've already talked about different cancellations for college sports leagues and stuff like that. To get more into the entertainment news, boy, it's really starting to affect entertainment hard. Fast and Furious 9 has been pushed back, not just a little bit, it's been pushed back to next year. So this movie that has been in the can for a long time has been pushed back to next year. So they've pushed that one back a long time. A Quiet Place 2, which is set to open not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, has delayed its opening indefinitely. Disney has not made an official decision on the live action Mulan and whether it will be delayed. That movie was counting on big box office returns from China. So I really don't know what's going on with that. One of the other interesting things that I saw is that the Disney Plus show, Falcon and Winter Soldier, has been filming in Prague. They stopped with a week of filming left. They stopped filming in Prague, and they recalled their entire U.S.-based filming crew, actors, crew, the whole thing, back to Atlanta. Now, they did this obviously, of course, because I don't know what's going on in the Czech Republic with this virus. To be perfectly honest, I mean, they could be not having a problem at all. They're definitely doing it on the side of safety. I'm sure they can bring everybody back to the U.S. and they can film here at Pinewood in Atlanta. I'm sure that's probably not a big deal. If it's just a week of filming, you go ahead and pay the extra money. You do your filming here at Pinewood in Atlanta. You go ahead and get your stuff out on time. A lot of people are talking that might be delayed. I don't see it being delayed. But yeah, a whole lot of stuff going on with this coronavirus thing. So go down in the comments below, let me know what's going on. Also, I think Streamlabs is open. If you guys want to throw a couple bucks at the Streamlabs, I'd appreciate it. Haven't really been pushing it because I'm not sure if the damn thing even works. But I mean, let's get it out there and see what's going on. I hate to feel like I'm profiting off this coronavirus, but it's there. Casey says, if I catch the coronavirus, can we still be friends? Sure, because you're quarantine in Drew's Dillo Cave. We can be friends all you want. as long as you sanitize the walls of the Dillo Cave, me and you can still be friends. Listen, I mean, this whole thing, boy, it blew up out of nowhere. And one of the things that's got me concerned is I just about 3 or 4 days ago booked a long weekend in New York for me and my girlfriend. And I just actually went into her. She's got her little home office here where she's doing some work out of right now. And I just popped in there before I started the stream and told her, you need to start wrapping your head around the fact that this is 50-50, that we're going to go at all. And she was saying, well, we should just go anyway. And I'm like, well, we may not be given the choice. They were legitimately talking on Fox News earlier, actually a couple of different news outlets, that they may end up doing what they did on 9/11. They may end up stopping all commercial flights for a period of time to help control the spread of this disease. So, I mean, who the hell knows where this thing is going to go? Casey, what do you think? You think you're gonna get some coronavirus down there in Diddle Cave? One of the things that worries me is I work in my real job. I work in a position where I deal with a lot of people over the course of the day, and I already keep a bottle of hand sanitizer in my car. Also keep one at my desk. I keep one over there on my table by where I watch TV. I try to, not that I'm germophobic, I just try to limit my exposure to any germs. I mean, I just deal with so many people. I deal with a lot of cash. It's just one of those things that I have to do to make sure that I keep myself healthy. But I gotta admit, is there anything we can really do? I mean, one of the nice things, and I say nice things, one of the interesting things about this virus is that if you are a perfectly healthy person, you can catch it and really not be in a big world of hurt. I think worldwide of all the cases that already half of the confirmed cases, if not a little bit more, they've already been not cured, but they've already gotten past it. They're healed. They're over it. They're back out in society. So really, the ones that are in danger are the people who have some kind of immune deficiencies, other underlying symptoms where this thing can stack up. Now, one of the things that worries me is my youngest son has asthma. How does this affect people with asthma? I know that people with respiratory illnesses can be a little sensitive to this thing. What's up, Bodart? Uh, yeah, I mean, you don't think it's time to worry? I mean, it's getting handled better than it got handled in China, and I put a lot of the blame on China. I know a lot of people want to shit on the current administration for not acting fast enough. Look, it, if this would have been handled differently in China, I think we'd be looking at a different thing. Maybe it would still be here, but maybe it wouldn't be as prevalent right now. I mean, let's face it, China's a communist country, and I was talking to Aaron last night about some of this stuff. Communist countries are not notorious for being forthcoming with information. The example I used was Russia and Chernobyl. They still to this day swear up and down that Chernobyl only killed, I think it was 34 or 36 people, and we all know that that number is far higher than that. Communist countries are notorious for not giving people all the necessary information. I don't think China is going to be any different than that. Casey works a truck driver from all over. There might be a chance I'll catch the virus if it blows up in the U.S. Yeah, it is kind of blowing up. That's the dangerous thing. And what's interesting, Casey, is you're working with truck drivers who are all over the place. They're not in one local area. These guys, I'm assuming, if they're truck drivers, they're guys that drive in a 3, 4, 5 state area, if not more. So they are probably much more susceptible to this thing because they're probably driving right through places where this thing is kind of taking hold. I mean, you deal with any truck drivers that go through New Rochelle, New York. You know what they're going through right now. They've closed every school. They've pretty much quarantined the entire city, at least one giant segment of the city. They're telling people, don't go to school, don't go to any public. I think they're pretty much banned public gatherings. Bodark says there's a confirmed case in my country where they don't reveal any other info than that. Schools are being closed down, to my knowledge, but I still feel this is going to blow over. Look, I think it's going to blow over. But again, the problem is the people who are susceptible to this thing are people with existing conditions, especially respiratory ones, and the elderly. And the last thing you want is to see 50 or 60,000 elderly people get this thing and then fall out dead. Look at how fast the numbers jumped, all because of what happened at that one retirement home or old age home or whatever it is, nursing home in Washington. We had, I think, 17 confirmed cases in the U.S. and no confirmed deaths. Then we had one confirmed death of a 50-year-old man who had some kind of a pre-existing condition. I don't know what it is. And then all of a sudden, they started dropping like flies, and most of them were all in this one building. That's the problem. It's like, yeah, I think most people, most people that are healthy, well, we might contract it. We might, feel a little under the weather for a couple of days. We'll get over it because we'll manage the symptoms. We'll go, and our body will build up the natural immunity. But for these people, that's the problem. That is all these old people, and especially some kids. I was watching a show earlier today, and one of the ladies that was on there mentioned infants, young babies who haven't had any immunizations yet. How are they going to fare against this thing if they come across somebody? That's a legitimate question to answer. I don't know the answer. I don't know if any of you guys know the answer. Casey says 2 confirmed cases in Oklahoma. People who flew back from Italy. Well, yeah. I mean, I hate to look. I never want to say close the border. I think that might be a little heavy, but to be absolutely honest, give me another option. It's like, give me another option right now. I mean, the only way to. I mean, look. I mean, a lot of people hate to say it, but throwing up the wall or a metaphorical wall might be the way that we stop this thing. Look, we have to take steps to be proactive on this it's come out in the last couple hours that more and more. Let's see, I did a video the other day. They canceled South by Southwest. They've also canceled Coachella in California. They are canceling shit left and right. Half of my soda. You hear the squish. But yeah, I mean they're canceling things left and right. Oh no, doubt my grandfather and my uncle are very risky. If they catch this virus, they'd be dead. Well, I mean, that's all the more reason why you should go, get them some hand sanitizers, some Clorox wipes, things like that. One of the things that the first time that this really got to me was yesterday. I'd gone to Walmart to pick up a few things for dinner, and I was like, well, I'm gonna. And usually when I go into Walmart, I kind of like meander around and see if there's anything else I need. I walk out of the camping area. I mean, I see if they still have any ammo left, which they don't have any ammo left that I used. Um, I walked past the toilet paper aisle, and the whole damn thing's barren. It's just barren, and I'm like, God, you guys are idiots. and so I got to thinking about it, and I got home and looked, and I had 4 rolls of toilet paper in my house. I'm thinking to myself, well, normally that's not really enough to make me want to go buy more, but maybe I should go find some more. So I go to the local dollar store, a couple other places. Of course, I added toilet paper. Why there's a run on toilet paper right now, I have no idea. I dare anybody hit me up on Twitter, hit me up somewhere, and let me know why buying toilet paper is important with this fucking coronavirus. You don't get diarrhea from the coronavirus. That's not one of the symptoms. So somebody explain to me why there's a run on toilet paper. My niece, I was talking to her on Facebook last night. She was saying she had to go something like 30 miles, or 30 minutes. I'm sorry, 30 minutes out of her way. Excuse me, out of her way to find toilet paper for her house, for her boyfriend, and their kid. I was like, come on, what is wrong with you people? But pro tip, I'm gonna give you guys a little something right now, and I'm sure Walmart's gonna hate me for it, and maybe even places like Myers and some of those other places, whatever chain store you have in your area. If you go to the RV section of at least my local Walmart, they have special toilet paper they use for RVs. It's a fast dissolving toilet paper, and that shelf was fully stocked with about 10 or 15 rolls. I almost grabbed a couple rolls of it, but that was before I really thought about it. Luckily, I went to the dollar store that was up by my house, and they had boxes upon boxes of toilet paper that they hadn't put out yet. So I grabbed a couple of cases of the cheapo dollar store off brand, and I put them back just for safekeeping. Look, bottom line is, funny thing, I just went last night and bought $350 worth of ammo off a website. So push comes to shove, I can always shoot somebody and take their toilet paper. I mean, whatever. Hey, pro Second Amendment. But look, I don't really think to that point where we're going to be wandering the highways and byways amongst burned out abandoned cars trying to find that last little bit of toilet paper known to mankind. But yeah, just be smart about this shit, guys. I mean, seriously, it's more and more stuff's getting canceled. Oh, now they're moving the Democratic debate between Biden and Bernie Sanders from where it was supposed to be, I think, in Arizona, to DC for fear of the coronavirus. I don't think anybody's going to watch it anyway. Honestly, you could have put that thing up on the middle of Times Square, and like people walking through Times Square wouldn't watch. A whole lot of activity in the stock market right now. They're down, I think, 1,700. Yeah, just over 17, about 1,740 points. That's a whole lot of money. I mean, put it to you this way: if the Dow goes down 1 point, that's $1 billion. So right now, the Dow is down, a whole lot of billions of dollars. I can't quite tell because there's a graphic in front of my YouTube feed for Fox News. But yeah, but I'm not so worried about the stock market because it's still 5 or 6 thousand points higher than it was when Trump took office. I think when this thing blows over, look, everybody freaking out about the stock market. Let's be honest. Whenever the president cuts a loud fart, the stock market drops 20 points. It's you don't need to be that worried. I think a lot of the stock market stuff is driven by people who know stocks but don't really know how life works. Look, I don't know if any of you guys own stock. I mean, sure, there are times where you want to buy stock in certain things. They always say that war is good business, and whenever we're getting ready to get into a military action, you want to buy stock in people that produce, hey, what's up, dollar bills? What's up? What's up, Casey is Raw? Throwing me some money. Appreciate it, brother. But, you know, what did you say? I missed it. It said, Frank, it's time to start using towels to wipe your ass. You know what's funny? I was thinking about it when I got home because I usually keep some Clorox wipes around the house. I was thinking about it when I got home, and I was like, push comes to shove, they still have those spray bottles of Clorox bleach and whatever. They still have a bunch of those at Walmart. I'll just go buy a couple of those and go get some paper towels and everything be fine. Actually, I have a bunch of rags here that I stole from work, so whatever. But It's like it's the same thing. I mean, one thing I did do is I went and bought one of those blacklight flashlights to show you like bodily fluids and stuff like that. And just for shits and giggles, I walked into my bathroom and turned the light off and shined it around. Now, mind you, I keep my bathroom clean as fuck. My bathroom and my kitchen have to be clean at all times. Because maybe it's because I grew up in restaurants, and that was always the one thing they beat into me. Any place where you prepare food or any place that your public sees has to be spotless clean, so that they know that you're running a good place. And I went and shined it around in there, and I dropped that immediately. Went and found every Kleenex or Clorox wipe that I could find in the house. I started cleaning my bathroom because as clean as it looked on the surface, there were still like the little yellow splotches everywhere that drove me fucking nuts. But that's what happens when you have a couple of teenagers here all the time. Yeah, thanks Casey. It was raw for the donation. I appreciate it. Miles Bodark says, give it a few months or something. They say someone will probably kill this big thing. I actually think the opposite, because usually, and this is one of the things I run into in my job, is I usually hit this downtime, like right about now when the weather starts to turn and it starts to get better. We start to get those 60-degree days. People want to get out more. That's exactly what's happening. People are leaving the natural seclusion that happens during the winter when it's cold out, and they're getting out. They're trying to enjoy the weather. They're trying to enjoy the outdoors. They're trying to go do these things. I live here in Ohio, and late spring is usually when the festivals start. And I swear to God, there's a festival or two every weekend, from usually late spring, early summer, all the way through fall and into the winter. There's at least one or two every weekend within probably a 45-minute or an hour drive from here, and those things they draw big. So I actually worry about quite the opposite. Now, if you're just talking about temperature, yeah, it's possible. I know that I thought I heard somewhere last night, and I could be wrong, that if it's over like 80 or 90 degrees out, that the lifespan of the virus outside the body is drastically decreased. I don't know that for sure. I think I only heard it in passing last night. I don't even remember where I heard it. I think it may have been something being talked about on Fox after the president's address. But yeah, but it's something to do with the sun. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you called the UV rays. I mean, I'm not going to go into the science of it all because it's not what I do. But the yeah, we're getting to that point where more and more people are going to be outside. I mean, I was actually just the other day before all this shit really started to go down. There's a local concert venue called the Rose Music Center. I was looking into seeing what was going on. There's a ZZ Top show there. I was thinking about going to later this summer, and there's these places. I mean, there's actually several of those places around here. Riverbend Music Center is just north of Cincinnati. I mean, I go there once a year to catch a show. I mean, and this is places where thousands of people get together. It's nice and warm out, and you're all drinking and having fun, and there's just a bunch of people in one spot. It's this. I have a feeling this is going to be a very bad summer for the entertainment industry, for the entertainment venue. All these people get together and do stuff like that. I have a feeling it's going to be a really bad summer for people, especially if this thing doesn't clear up. The one thing I haven't heard anything about yet, and I know I think I may have mentioned it on Derailed a couple of weeks ago, is they still haven't made up their mind as to what's going on with the Olympics. The Olympics is in, I think, mid-July in Japan, and Japan is right across the Sea of Japan from China. So it's who the hell knows? I mean, and this isn't even just a Chinese thing anymore. I mean, you're looking at hundreds of different countries. You're looking at 140 countries who have been dealing with this thing, all collecting all these people who could be positive for this virus, all in there, coming to Japan to do all these games, and they're all living in these dorms. They're all getting out and socializing, because that's what I would do if I were an Olympic athlete and got a chance to go to some exotic place like Japan and meet all these cool people and do all this shit. Is I would want to get out and meet people. I'd want to get out and shake hands. How is that going to be happening? There's a good possibility that we could see the Olympics postponed for a year, and that would be, for those of you who don't know, the Olympics are huge money for the host country. I know they build literally billions of dollars in infrastructure just to host this, 10 or 14 day long event, and it's huge. It's gonna be huge for Japan. I mean, even if you do suspend it a year, it's gonna cost Japan not just extra millions, probably an extra $1 billion just to maintain these facilities for an extra year. Biden's out there doing his thing. The crisis will hit people who live paycheck to paycheck the hardest. The crisis is hitting everybody. Tom Hanks just got tested positive for this virus. Look, I hate it when politicians do shit like this. They always go out there and they say, "Oh well, the poor are going to be hit hardest by this virus." This virus doesn't give a shit. Look, I'm willing to bet all the people that died so far from this virus in the United States do not have the net value of Tom Hanks. It does not matter. This is not one of those things that is going to be harder to It's going to be harder to get if you're rich. It's not going to be harder to get if you're black, white, Asian, whatever. Just stop. It's just stupid. What's up, Ryan Romano? Good to see you, brother. Look, guy, all I can say right now is don't stop living your life. Be cautious, be mindful. I think those are all things that should be practiced all the time. Be cautious, be mindful. Hey, look, seriously, I keep a bottle of this shit almost everywhere. I keep a bottle of this in my car. Like I said, I deal with a lot of cash. I deal with a lot of people. I keep a bottle of this in my car. And every time I get in my car, I hit it and rub a little bit on my hands because some people are just fucking dirty. It's the truth. I mean, look at Casey for crying out loud. He lives in a dill cave. But just be mindful of this shit and just be smart. Biden, we need a permanent plan for paid sick leave. Well, okay, yeah, let's play politics with a bunch of dead bodies, with a bunch of sick people. Come on, just honestly, if I were a politician, I'd be avoiding the subject, for lack of a better expression, like the plague right now, because I don't think there's any way you can talk about this without sounding like you're making a political advancement out of it. But whatever, Biden's a moron. But yeah, my forte, what me and my guys talk about most in the entertainment industry. I just talked about the Fast and the Furious 9 has been pushed back an entire year to 2021. A Quiet Place 2, which is set to open a week from tomorrow, said it's opening delayed indefinitely. Disney's not made any official decision on the live action Mulan, which is supposed to open soon, and whether it will be delayed or not. China's a huge, huge market, man. And I mean, honestly, if you take the Chinese market out of Avengers Endgame, that doesn't even come close to breaking the all-time box office record. If Asians start coughing around me, should I be worried? Well, if anybody starts coughing around you, you should be worried. This isn't an Asian disease anymore. Although I will point out that it should be noted that most of these diseases start in Asia. I'm not saying that as in a racist way. I'm just saying that as fact. You have to. I mean, this whole Wuhan virus started at what's called a wet market. They call it a wet market because people will go out and hunt for all these various different kinds of game, whatever, and they take it to these gigantic markets that are called wet markets, and they butcher them right there and sell them to people right there. So you're getting the freshest cut of meat you can possibly get. But I mean, yeah, they trace this thing to a wet market in Wuhan. It's not a racist thing. These things all start in China. It's like I made a joke I think a couple weeks ago on Derailed that I think there's this video that I had shared on Twitter of this guy who was taking like mouse pups. They looked like they were newborn mice, picking up a chopstick, dipping them in like what looked to be garlic butter, and just popping in his mouth and eating them. I was like, why do you think all these diseases start here? Maybe you ought to stop and think about where you're getting your food. I mean, are they pulling these rat pups straight out of the sewer? I don't get it. I mean, look, if anybody starts coughing around you, Casey, you should be worried. I mean, honestly, I went in and I've got 3 or 4 of these masks that I've got sitting over there on my counter in case I need them. I know I've had a nurse friend of mine tell me they won't do any good. It doesn't matter. They're really for peace of mind for me and the people around me more than anything else. It's gotten to the point where I feel like I want to start wearing these things at work. I just don't know what else to do. Uh, Biden says we never fully solve this problem if we are unable to look beyond our own borders. We see China. Hey, Biden, we fucking see China. That's why we took the steps. That's why we're closing our borders, you old retarded fuck. Ugh, Jesus Christ. I wish I could turn the sound up on this right now so we can see him bumble and mumble through his fucking speech. Look, this doesn't have borders. I mean, it's everywhere now. There's only, I think, 1 or 2 states in the United States that don't have a confirmed case. In the continental United States. Making political hay out of people dying and suffering, especially old people. Good luck. You're 115 years old yourself, Biden. Maybe you want to rethink the way you're shaping your narrative. That's just my point of view. Back to the entertainment stuff. CinemaCon, which is actually one of the biggest. It's a big convention for cinema owners. You can go there. You can get. You can see early showings of movies that are coming out soon and stuff like that before you can see them anywhere else. That's been Coachella's been canceled. I think I mentioned that earlier. I did the video about South by being canceled. It's man, this whole thing's gonna be a fucking mess for a long, long time. And hopefully everybody makes it through. So I sent out I think I put it out on Facebook a little bit ago, about a week or so ago. There's a picture of a little Oriental kid sitting on a subway. He's got a mask on, what looks to be like a Mac 10 or maybe a Mac 11 in his lap. It said, "Cough on Billy, get the 9 milli." Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I ordered more ammo. It's not that I don't. It's not about the virus. It's about the people. The best way that we're going to beat this thing is by not being assholes to each other. That's the best way we're going to beat this thing. If you're going to be an asshole to your fellow man, then you probably deserve the fucking virus and everything that it gives to you. Biden hits Trump on coronavirus response. Look, I'm open to better ideas. If you've got a better idea than Donald Trump, by all means, tweet it to me. Hit me in the chat. If you've got a better idea, let me have it. Now's the time. Because if you're waiting for it just so you can see Trump fail, then you're a fucking moron and you should go kill yourself. Seriously. Oh my God. Look, be good people. I had to go buy more ammo because I don't trust people. Not because I feel like I have to go shoot somebody and take their fucking toilet paper. Not because I feel like, not because I'm some gun nut, but because people are dumb. This is what we say. This is what people like me say every time there's a mass shooting. People are bad. People are stupid. People are evil. Don't be evil with one another. Like, I know that he hadn't tested positive for it yet, but this guy, Gobert, I forgot his name already. The guy for the Utah Jazz. Something Gobert. But, yeah, this is before he had tested positive for the virus. I don't know. Somebody was asking him about it, and at a press conference, and as he got up, he kind of did this thing like he wasn't going to touch anything, and as he walked away, and then turned around and started touching everything again, just kind of as a joke. And then it's like a day or two later, this guy tests positive for coronavirus. It's funny when I look at it, because I know the guy, he hadn't tested positive yet. I know he didn't mean anything by it. It was a joke. But if you really are one of those people that would like have coronavirus and intentionally walk up to people and cough on them, then yeah, you're an asshole. You need to have your fucking face beat in. One of the things that came out of Brazil earlier is Brazilian media is saying that a Brazilian staffer that has had contact with President Trump just days ago has tested positive for the virus. You see, that's the scary part. Is what if this ends up, what if this ends up getting into the White House? What if Trump gets it? What if his wife gets it? Or what if, heaven forbid, his son should get it? His youngest son, Barron. I mean, that would be horrible. I wouldn't want anything to happen. I don't want anybody who is a civic leader, one of the people that we turn to for calm in moments like this, to actually get sick with anything, because that would be really, really shitty. And on top of that, I mean, we need to maintain a certain, not power structure, but we need to make sure we maintain this group of people who are burdened with trying to keep us all from losing our fucking minds. Casey says, joking aside, I'll be okay if I catch it, but I'm worried about someone like my mom who's 63 years old and the rest of my family. Yeah, that's the big thing is, look, if you have, I mean, most of the older people in my life are still fairly young. I mean, my grandparents have all passed away. My dad's in his 60s, but he's fairly healthy. I mean, me and him both have high blood pressure. I don't know how that is affected by this virus. Like I said, I worry about my daughter, who right now is still suffering from a little bit of the aftermath of appendicitis. So she's still fighting off a little bit of an infection. I don't know what that would do with anything. She's pretty much quarantined in the house right now anyway, because she still has an IV. My youngest son has asthma, and it's something we have to watch very closely because he's very active. He plays multiple sports, so we have to keep a very close eye on that. How is that affected? My older son is fairly healthy. He's also active and out there all the time. So, I mean, I worry about that. Uh, you know, who the hell knows? I mean, yeah, Casey, everybody out there, just protect your family. I mean, I don't know what else I can say. Is if you have elderly family out there, protect them. I got a lot of family in Mississippi, a lot of family in California, in Southern California. Some of them are getting on in age, not old, but they're in the 60 to 70 range. Some of them have, actually, now I think about it, my dad's aunt, my Aunt Lulu, she's diabetic. She's in her 80s. She's getting on in years, and I wouldn't want to lose her for anything. I mean, she's one of the last few people in my family that has that generation's wisdom that I want to draw off of for as long as I possibly can. That's frightening to me. And yeah, so just Casey, everybody out there, Ryan, Bodark, everybody, just protect your fucking family and all this shit, dude. Keep people healthy. Do what you got to do as long as you're not shitting on other people. I don't know what else I can really say about this shit. Just be good to everybody. Keep an eye on what's going on. I don't know, you guys. Tell me, is this affecting the way you guys do things? I mean, like I said, I do a lot of entertainment stuff. I watch a lot of movies, and I've been backing off going to see movies. I wanted to go see. Actually, I was thinking about it yesterday or today, going to see what's the movie, The Hunt, the one that caused all that controversy. The release got pushed back because whatever. But I've heard that it's really kind of a movie that goes after everybody, so I really kind of want to see it. Honestly, part of me's thinking that I'm going to lay off the movie theater for a while just in case. Anthony G says, "Hey, frankly, 2 hours for toilet paper and water at Costco is getting ridiculous." Yeah, that's what I'm. You know what? I went to Walmart yesterday, and one of the things I had on my shopping list of things I wanted to get was just a case of bottled water. My girlfriend likes to use bottled water in her little coffee maker because it tastes better than our tap water. Not that it's unhealthy, it just tastes better. And there's a specific kind that she likes, the Ice Mountain water. So I get a case of the 32 bottles of Ice Mountain water. We keep a couple cases around the house. And I knew that I only had 2 or 3 bottles left, so I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get some water." Yeah, completely wiped out. All the smaller bottles of water are gone. Be it the Ice Mountain that I drank, the Kroger, the Walmart brand stuff, the Dasani bottled water, all gone. It's like, come on, guys. I mean, worst case scenario, you've got water in the tap. I mean, I actually thought about getting one of those Brita filters that you hook onto your faucet for your kitchen, just so you could have some cleaner water to run through a coffee maker and have better tasting coffee. There was only 10 packs left to my left. Whatever. Like I said, pro tip, Anthony, go to your local Walmart. I don't think this has gotten out yet. They have special toilet paper for RVs they sell in the RV or automotive section of Walmart. I think they also probably have it at places like AutoZone and some of the auto parts stores. Not 100% sure of that. I've never actually looked for toilet paper at an auto parts store. Toilet paper they sell there is a special kind of toilet paper. It might be a little more pricey, but it's fast dissolving so that it doesn't screw up your system in the RV. So yeah, so pro tip, try that. That's my guess. But yeah, I mean, I really don't know what else I can say about all this, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going to go back to watching John Campea. He's talking a lot about Tom Hanks and how this is affecting the entertainment industry. So I'm drawing a little bit of information to form my opinions off him. Uh, Probably be checking out some Dana Lash here in a little bit. She's going to be on soon. Uh, yeah, no problem, Anthony. No problem. I'm always on the lookout. Yeah, but hopefully my annual will be delivered soon, so that way, if all hell breaks loose and people want to try coming at me and stealing my toilet paper, I can drop some bodies in my front yard. But look, I mean, go about life. I mean, I'm not going to tell anybody not to go out and do stuff. I'm not going to tell anybody not to go enjoy themselves. I'm being more and more cautious. Thank you, Casey. I appreciate it. It got off to a rough start because I was unplugging shit, not knowing what was going on. But it's let's like Jerry Springer once said, love yourself and each other, be good to yourself and each other. However we ended the show, just be cautious, be aware. If there's something you can do in house, do it in house. I know that I'm going to be limiting my outside stuff for a while until this thing at least starts to wane off. And it sucks because there's a whole lot of movies coming out that I really want to see. But at the same time, I'm old, not as healthy as I used to be. Why risk it? I mean, I'm going to be 43 here in a couple of months. So yeah, and I'm already to the point where I'm starting to get, I got to go to the cardiologist and stuff now. I know I've already got high blood pressure. I really don't want to screw with this thing and find out what people with high blood pressure are going to, how they're going to react when they get this thing. But yeah, I mean, it's hit us all pretty hard now. Tom Hanks, these 2 basketball players. We've got baseball season getting ready to start. Who the hell knows what's going to happen once training camp starts for the NFL in July. I know they've got volunteer workouts coming up in June, I think, for the NFL. Who knows if that's going to actually happen or not? But yeah, I mean, just be good to each other, guys. I mean, be cautious, be smart. If you can find some hand sanitizer somewhere, go ahead and grab it. Get your hands with it once an hour. I know usually I'm at work. If I'm in the store, it's once an hour. I wash my hands, guaranteed. Even if I'm haven't left a make line in an hour, just wash your hands. Just take the normal precaution. Don't be a dirty butt. I mean, honestly, the whole one of the whole things I want to tell people is don't be a dirty butt. Like when my kids are here, I know most people do this. I don't know why. Most people only make their kids take a bath or a shower every night. I'm like, no, every night before you go to bed, go wash your ass. I don't want you to be dirty. Luckily, my boys are like me. They want to smell good. They have their little cologne collections that each of them do. They have these things that they like, as do I. I have my Aqua Velva, aftershave in there that I've loved since I was a kid because my dad and my grandpa wore it. Thankfully, they still sell that. Nobody's trying to drink it or wipe their ass with it. But yeah, it's just my boys are all in smelling good and taking care of themselves. Makes me very happy. Of course, my 15-year-old is. He's out chasing tail every day. That's pretty much all he does. He's not He's not at school. But yeah, just be good to each other, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next stream. Thanks a lot, Casey, for being the first guy to send me your donation. You're pretty fucking awesome. So Bodart, Casey is raw. Let's see, Idiot Show was in here at first. SC was in here. Ryan Ray Romano. Everybody loves Ryan Ray Romano. Anthony, thanks guys for hanging out for the stream. I wish I would have had something a little bit longer. I was hoping to have Aaron here, but he couldn't make it for whatever reason. And yeah, just guys, just take care of yourselves. Try to limit your your outside activity. See what you can do in house. And in closing, all I want to do is say that the Netflix programming guy that decided to put Outbreak on Netflix, you are a fucking all-star. You should get a raise. You should get a promotion. You're my favorite person in the whole world. I actually already have it on DVD. I've had it on DVD for many, many years. But hey, what a great thing to turn on Netflix and see that. It was fantastic. Anyway, so Casey, Miles, SC, Ryan, everybody, Idiot Show. Thank you guys for hanging out for the stream. I'm gonna try to start doing one about this time every Thursday. It's probably the easiest time for me to do it. Now that things have kind of calmed down with my daughter a little bit, I'm getting